And of course, wonderful. Give thanks. Blessed love to each and every one. Of course, you know, this is the shock of the hour. This is what we call the meat of the mystic vibration. And as I said before, everyone is looking forward to this one to hear exactly why is it that Rastafari would have locks, and he which they say that they praise and revere, which is Haile Selassie, he doesn't have locks. And as I said before, it's a genuine question, so we're definitely going to give it a genuine answer. And what we intend to do, we intend to um, kill two dogs with one stone here. And specifically, what we're going to do, we are going to also speak to the question, where is the Trinity found in the Bible? All right. Now I know when I said two dogs. You see, this is what's so disgusting, you know. Now, really, I'm going to be very straight off with you. Even from time to time, you hear, even from my lair, I'm looking out the window, and my neighbors there be beating their dog, and I complain about that. I despise when people do that, beat their dog, any animal. I see people riding horse and donkeys. I hate to see people whipping them. Although I have the horse and the donkey, I'm telling you straight, in a different level than the dog, for sure. But I mean, I wouldn't even hit a dog, but make it attack me, I would kill it, for sure. I don't care what nobody say. That's my point. But here's the point now. If I was to say I was going to kill two birds with one stone, nobody would say anything. I mean, I've done this many times. Well, what we're going to do, we're going to kill two dogs with one stone. And people get upset. Why you say that, brother? And then I say, if I said I would have killed two birds with one stone, you wouldn't get upset. Then they would say, well, let's not kill nothing. I agree. But if I did say, kill two birds with one stone, you would not have said, let's not kill nothing. This is what I'm talking about. So these phrases that they give us, all of this is a part of our culture that we have to now, follow along with what we have been given to speak. That's why we always say they take away our language and our culture and our stories and our phrases. So now we're killing two birds with one stone and nobody have nothing to say. But the moment I say we're going to kill two of men's best friend with one stone, you start to jump up. Get in front of the slave master himself when we're looking to bust his head open and say, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do what? The same dog that ran you down and hunted you in the forest when you were trying to escape for your life. Hmm? The same dog when they dig the pit and they covered you and left your head out and said, sick 'em, covered you with blood from some other animal and told the dog to sick him, and he ate you to the skull. The same dog, they give each of you a dog now. Well, you don't even know what's going on. But give thanks for the Black Christ King Emmanuel, although I know not Bubba have the dog. Teach us we don't keep dogs. Straight up. I mean, if you want to turn off now, because I know we're so gone. Eh? We are so gone. But anyway, to the subject at hand. Now, I think I would like to begin by saying, before we go into why Haile Selassie doesn't have locks, because to be very honest, it would have been good, if you could have, got that answer straight from him. It's depending on how old you were. It wasn't that long ago when he was, in our presence, seen and felt in the sense that, he was there in Ethiopia, the 225th monarchy, etc., etc. Okay, so that time has passed, and I will definitely be answering this for sure on a theological level. I don't know if that's the exact way he would have answered it. Yeah. But I think first I would like to go into why Rastafari have locks. What's the locks thing about? Now remember, I did a documentary right here, well, not on Radio Anu, on the YouTube. It's on my YouTube channel. You could visit my YouTube channel. I think that's the best thing you could do, is to visit the YouTube channel. and go through the different videos that we have. Everything is a hit straight up, and you could definitely look for the video entitled "You Don't Have to Be Dread to Be Rasta." I think that's what we started. Right? Yeah, you should check it out. You don't have to be dread to be Rasta. And we gave a little comprehension of the science of the locks and everything. And there was this lecture that I had. It was an audio lecture, so I wasn't really seeing the visual. And I think it was Dr. Leonard Jeffries. If it wasn't, I think it was Dr. Leonard Jeffries. But anyway, he was giving a lecture, and he was saying, he was highlighting the locks on the head, or if it's not Leonard Jeffries, it's Brother James Smalls. Yeah. But anyway, they were highlighting the locks on the Egyptian head, the Kemetic, whether it was sisters or brothers, but they were highlighting the locks. And they were saying that they had these beautiful locks. And one of the reasons that we carried locks because we did not, or we may not have invented the comb as yet. I said, okay, that's interesting. So what they were hinting to me there is what we've always been saying, that from creation, because that's what they were talking about. They were talking about creation, creating, inventing, making up the comb. So the comb was not invented yet. The comb was not seen as something necessary from what the elder scholars were teaching there. So, okay, interesting. Showing now that, again, Rastafari as a culture, not a religion, but as a culture, is something that takes us to the origin of our civilization. This is what it is. So you may observe the Rastaman move in a specific type of way. Again, the locks, the matted hair, I think people call them freedom locks or something now. I mean, wow, things are really changing. But the matted hair or the locks upon the head is not only just because they didn't invent the comb. We're talking about the specific type of hair that the original man has as well. That night ether hair that literally curls. You don't have to stick it together with nothing to make it look as if it's locked. Because our hair as the black man, it actually locks. Because the hair is a lock itself and it wraps into each other, and there you have the locks. Naturally, no extra thing has to be done. Just brush it back and you see what happens. It doesn't just grow long. Brush it back and it will naturally lock. So you could see now, even in the form of the original man. That's why you see the sheep with the wool would have a lot of the locks. You know. Okay. So when you comprehend now, that science connects you with nature. It connects you to the cosmos. I heard one scientist say that your hair should be at least 3 inches in height or length. I'm speaking of the afro itself, 3 inches going up now to connect you to the heavens, because the black man, the hair of the black man is like the antenna, the spiral, and the spiral is the best antenna that you can have. So there is that natural importance when it comes to the locks. It has to do again with the figure, the expression, the identity of the original man. It's not just rebellion against Babylon and you don't want to cut your hair and all of that. You could add that to the whole entourage of reasons, but the science of this locks is the connection with the sun, the connection with the planets, the connection with the movements of the comets. Yeah, all in the locks, and how it is prepared and taken care of, and even as Bobo Shanti, as you could see how it's groomed and how it's wrapped, and the colors that ordain it at what time and what day. It's a science that we're dealing with. So the point now is that the Rasta man, the Rastafari, Rasta man, Rasta woman, Rastafari, the original one, you could jump high and low, all this saying, well, if you were the original, who you were praising? Selassie wasn't there. And man, people get into all kind of things. But the point is, Haile Selassie was born in 1892 on the 23rd day of July, according to the Gregorian calendar. We're talking about an ancient culture. I'm talking about the culture from the beginning of time. That's the point I'm making. Now, Haile Selassie is a spirit. And to be very honest, your spirit and my spirit, I mean, you cannot give a date to the birth of your spirit, really. You cannot really compare when you were born in this physical form to your eternal spirit that has existed from eternity, really. So the point is now we're talking about the original creation and the original culture, and the locks is a part of that. The ital eating, what they call the veganism now, is a part of that. It's not just because the Bible says so. It's not just because Numbers 6 says that the Nazarite shall grow his locks and all of that. It's not just because we saw the Mama, in the war with the British soldiers in there in Kenya. But again, all of that inspired the movement. All of that, obviously had a part to play in the growth and understanding of the ancient sea. I mean, the biblical scriptures and the historical events, they do go hand in hand. Fair enough, and just the rebellion against Babylon as well. All of that, it goes hand in hand. Good. Now, what it is, the reality is, when you comprehend the history of Rastafari, let me just throw in a bit of this too. When you comprehend the history of Rastafari itself, like I can speak of Antigua, and I think in general in the Caribbean where Rastafari really was birthed, I think the history of these different islands and territories are basically the same. You have a group of people, again, who were rebelling against a system, and they took up that nature. There was this spirit in them already, where they took up that nature of rebellion. They took up that nature of, again, matting their hair, locks in their hair, or just not cutting their hair, and growing their beard. They took up that whole culture of retreating to the hills. They took up that culture of planting their food and eating what they grew. They took up that culture of stop cooking all of that meat, even though some may have eaten fish and different things. But the point is they were dropping down the hog and putting away the goat and the sheep and all of that. They were taking up this culture. They were reading their Bible. They were praised. That's one thing about them. They were keeping to their biblical philosophy, and they were calling on the living God, and they saw a jar in the Bible, and I mean it went to a mystic level. And then from afar, even in Jamaica, from afar, you heard of the coronation of Haile Selassie the First. And it is then, I'm telling you straight, if you understand the history, even here in Antigua, in the place they call Jungle, those people that are the first set of quote-unquote Rastas that rose up. The point is, the fact is, and they will tell you, they're still around, they will tell you, at first it was not directly about Haile Selassie. They will tell you that. It was just this rebellion, and they knew of Marcus Garvey. It was like they're following Garvey, but on a kind of rebellion level. And Garvey told them about the king in Ethiopia. When they really understood what this king in Ethiopia thing was all about, and they noticed that the Bible was saying that, listen, this man shall come, and he shall be crowned King of Kings, and he shall be crowned Lord of Lords. In Revelation 19, you could see it on his thigh and on his vesture, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And they said, what? That's interesting. This man that was crowned in the 2nd of November 1930, he was crowned King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Some people, just a name, a title. Yeah, but hold on. The same Bible saying that he shall be of the lineage of Solomon. The book of Acts, Acts are saying that God himself shall rise up David to sit upon the throne. The throne of the lineage of Solomon. Well, yeah, but wait, hold on, man. But the Ark of the Covenant, I read in Tim Hector's newspaper, the workers' voice, not the workers' voice, oh, pardon me, Fan the Flame, the outlet. I saw this whole story that the Ark of the Covenant is in Ethiopia. That's some interesting stuff. Wow. But this same Ethiopia is said to be the oldest Christian country, the oldest Christian tradition, the first Christianity. In fact, they separate from Rome. This is some, what? Read it in the book of Acts, where Philip baptized the Ethiopian eunuch. Okay, and he went back and Christianized, if you want to use these terms, Queen Candace. The ancient Christian order actually began under a woman, not King Isana, Queen Candace, if you follow that narrative of the Bible. So this is some serious thing. Okay, wait, hold on. Back to Selassie now. You mean to say he's called the Lion of Judah? Look here in Revelation 5, chapter 5, verse 5. It said that only the Lion of Judah was found worthy to take the book and open the seals. And wow. Let's check this man out properly now. Forget all them things. Wait, is not he the man that went and pleaded before the League of Nations? Yeah, but all that in the Bible too, now, boy. He shall bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. Real thing. He said he shall speak unto them in the book of Zephaniah. He shall speak unto them a pure language. Yeah. Zephaniah chapter 3. A pure language. Wow. Pure language. That's Amharic. That's what he did. He spoke unto the League of Nations in a pure language. Yeah, I mean, it's not. Who says Amharic? The same book. It says the language came from beyond the rivers of Ethiopia. Right in the same book. Yeah. Wow. Bible we talking. Okay. He shall speak unto them a pure language. Wow, this is some serious stuff. Haile Selassie. Hey. Selassie. Jah. Rastafari. And man start to trad now and say, yeah, man. This is the return Christ. That was the word, This is the Messiah. In reality, enough man was still saying Jesus, but they say, Jesus come back. As the black king and I start to rise, chant and sing and accept the king, Yeah. And even in them times, a lot of the older folks and those who are in denial would say, so, wait. Selassie will come to Jamaica, Yeah, me see me, Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you never see me. Me see. You just come. Selassie no have no locks, Okay, here we go now. Selassie no have no locks. How is it Selassie don't have no locks? New locks. You say he is the Christ. You even say Christ have locks, although you don't have no picture for really prove that. But you say Christ return now as Haile Selassie. So you say, right? Okay. So where his locks? Some of us will, the answers you would get, one of the answers you would get is that Haile Selassie had locks at the age, as a child. And you can see the picture of him as a young child with the matted hair, the locks. I think at the age of 7, those locks were taken off, trimmed off, I've seen people get themselves into trouble by using that for the answer. So why trim them off then? Why trim them off? Well, it's an Ethiopian tradition. Man, what you mean that? Yeah. Anyway, and then now to be clear here, a lot of us have some real, man, up to this day, man. I have some brothers that be telling me some kind of thing that tell me when the emperor crowned, he had locks. Locks was all under them crown. I said, come on, man, you still talking them talk. When we came into this, we heard a lot of that, And the emperor had locks when he crowned, and some man would tell you the emperor never went to the barber. I say, you're right, he never went to the barber. The emperor have his own personal barber. What are you talking about? Someone tell you, no, it's the supernatural powers. Supernatural powers, and the emperor. The hair just don't grow. I said, what are you talking about, man? Man, they have time when the emperor afro high and when it come back down, and sometimes the beard. The emperor have a lot of beard. You check those pictures when the emperor beard is in his fullness. Before he was crowned, the emperor full of beard. What are you talking about? Sure. Anyway, let's get serious here. Good. I would like to use the Bible. The Bible is going to be like a key source for this reasoning here. In the book of Isaiah chapter 7, so I'm putting Haile Selassie in the line of prophecy. And for the audience, listen to me good. In the answering of this part of the question, I'm trying to deal with this, in all light of history, prophecy, and evidence plus understanding. I'm not trying to prove nothing to anyone. I'm not trying to convince you to be, no believer in what, I may quote unquote subscribe to. No, I'm just trying to show you a reason to answer the question, one of the age old questions. So you don't have to agree as such. The most you have to do is understand. That's all. Good. You can understand something and you're not a part of it. Okay. A Muslim can explain something to you that you never comprehended, why they do this or why they say that. That doesn't mean you're a Muslim to just say, oh, okay, I understand. That's all. And by the time I'm done, you are going to say, oh, I understand. That's all. Isaiah chapter 7 is that chapter, that book. Isaiah, in general, as we have spoken of before, is the Messianic prophet, meaning he speaks in depths of the Messiah. In fact, his presence as well is also highly symbolic of the presence of the Messiah. And this is Isaiah. That is why we speak of the book, the Ethiopic book known as the Ascension of Isaiah. As you can see, Isaiah, like the Elijah and like the Enoch, was said to have all ascended. Enoch, a very key character here. Yeah. So in the book of Isaiah chapter 7, if you notice, Isaiah mentions the name Emmanuel twice. And Isaiah also mentions, no, and Emmanuel is mentioned a third time in Matthew chapter 1 verse 23. And it's all numerical here because Isaiah chapter 7 verse 14, and you know the cycle of life, and 7, 14, 21, 28, 7 days for the week, 7, 14, 21, 28, the month and its cycle, and 7, 14, 21, 28, the cycle of the woman, 7, 14, 21, 28. So Isaiah 7 verse 14 mentions Emmanuel, behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son and call his name Emmanuel. And then in Isaiah 8 verse 8, the 8 and the 8 now, which is the cycle of Venus, every 8 year making a 5-point star. You don't know the 8 is infinite, the only number except 0 that you could just keep drawing it and you don't stop. You just keep drawing it because it has no beginning nor no end. The 8 on its side is the symbol of infinity. So the 8 now, the 8 verse 8, you see Emmanuel again. And as I said in Matthew 1:23, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3, a trinity. So it's found 3 times in the book and sealed up with 1, 2, and 3. Oh my goodness. This is a solar Masonic book we're dealing with here, straight off the bat, whether you like it or not. That's really what it is. That's why it's in the courts. That's why you swear to it. That's why it's in the hotels. I mean, child. And it says here in the book of Isaiah, verse 20, speaking of this Christ, the Emmanuel figure. And of course, I'm sure we all know Emmanuel means God is with us. So, in all clarity, Haile Selassie is Emmanuel, for it is God with us. And I know why I said that. Verse 20 says, and in the same day shall the Lord shave with a razor that is hired, namely by them beyond the river, by the king of Assyria, the head and the hair of the feet, and it shall consume the beard. Okay. Now, that's just one verse I just pull out, As you know, I read chapters, but I just pull out that one verse. It's a very poetic, and I would say it's a very esoteric chapter too. There's a lot of esoteric um, vibrations in it. Talks about milk and honey he shall eat, these different things. A man shall nourish a young cow and two sheep. It's a lot of different. It's poetry. But if you've been listening to our lessons, by now you should be able to comprehend how to take poetry and understand where history is somewhat weaved in the midst thereof and comprehend the science, because it's history here. Speaking of the coming of an Emmanuel, you know, several have come, yeah. Oh my goodness. But this Lord now, this Lord, in that day the Lord shall shave. The Lord shall shave. Okay, if we're gonna let's come down to ground level. We dealing with history and just being literal. So if we be literal as literal can get, the Lord is shaving. I mean, just clear as that. The Lord shall shave with a razor, and the razor came from Assyria, the city of idols, by the king of Assyria too. Wow. And he shall even consume the beard. We were just speaking about the beard. Do you know, I did an interview with a good brethren of mine. Well, he's like an elder to me, although he was saying, he ain't no elder or something like that, but it's all right. But I did a interview with a brethren of mine, myself, Brother Zugu, with Bongo Ras Mike, Ras Idash, right here in Antigua. And I definitely have to put that video up, do a little editing, because he did some cursing in there. I don't put up cursing on my channel. I mean, you can't even come in my house and be cursing no bad word. So I don't really, if we're out in the street, you can talk how you want. It's your mouth. I ain't got no problem. It doesn't really bother me as such, but I mean, I just keep a certain standard. I don't speak it, so I'm not. So I got some editing to do before I bring it out. But Ras Mike was saying in this, and you'll see for yourself when we put it on YouTube, man. Ras Mike, was saying, well, Ras Mike is a man, he's not into no Bible. Ras Idash is also known as, he has a idol shop, one of the longest standing idol shops in Antigua. I think he needs an award for that alone. And Ras Mike he doesn't deal with the Bible at all. At all, no way for nothing. And he has this concept of Haile Selassie the first, the throne of Ethiopia, being the throne was ordained by British and the house of Anglo-Saxons and all kind of things. That's his theory. So it's not no genuine Ethiopian throne. And as I said, when I put that interview up, you'll see where he's coming from. I'm not gonna say I can see I'm not gonna say I can see where he's coming from, but I could say I understand why he's talking like that. Let me put it that way. I could understand why he's talking like that, but I challenged him, I challenged him to prove it, because he cannot really prove it. But I could comprehend. And listen, it comes down now, because I know some of the rest saying, boy, boy, to put up no interview, boy, fire on them talk. But hold on, man. It comes down to the same reasoning on Haile Selassie and being a Mason. If Haile Selassie is a Mason, I hear people run from it and, boy, fire burn, how Selassie no Mason. Well, let me tell you straight, Haile Selassie. Oh, what Mason? Haile Selassie, in my fullness of all praises and honor to Negos and Nagas, brother. No, man. Haile Selassie is not a Mason. But then again, that's why I said this is not really a yes or no answer. Just for clarity, I just had to say that to you, but this ain't no yes or no answer. His Majesty was a member of several Masonic institutions. Straight up. Nobody can deny that. I can't deny that. And yeah, man. Man, I feel good saying what I say. I know people screwing up. So when we do the program, is Haile Selassie a Mason? Yeah. Anyway, I'm saying all that to come back to this verse. Now, shave with a razor and consume the beard and all of that is more than just shaving. As I said, on ground level, there it is. The Lord shall shave. Look at there. On ground level, ground zero, earth bound. There it is. We're not even on the tarmac yet. There it is. The Lord shall shave. You got the answer. The Lord shall shave. And hold on before you run. The fact that the Lord shall shave shows you that the Lord doesn't shave. You see what I'm saying? So this is like a grand event. Because the Lord shall shave. He shall even consume the beard. Remember when they disrespected some of David's soldiers? They cut off their beards or cut off half the beards. They cut off half the beards. And David told the brothers, hey, he didn't tell them shave off the rest of your beard and come home. He said, hey, you stay out here until your beard grow back. Oh my, and then you can come home. I say, wow. That's to show you how important the beard is. So he shall consume even the beard. And the emperor always had a beard. The emperor ever have a beard. But I'm trying to show you about the emperor's beard. When it was left was some serious beard. And as you said, he had locks when he was a child. And the Lord shall shave. Alright. But yet still you never see the emperor with no shine head business. The emperor, especially in the ancient last days, is some real wool, eh? Alright. But you see this scripture here? This verse here? This verse is deeper than that. Because the razor that he's using was hired. Look at that term, hired. Oh my goodness. Hired from beyond the rivers by the king of Assyria. I was saying beyond the rivers of Assyria, pardon me, but from beyond the river by the king of Assyria, the head and the feet, the hair of the feet, and consume the beard. Oh my goodness gracious. Man, it's touching, man. It's touching, it's touching, it's touching, it's touching. Do you know that when Emperor Haile Selassie I brought in the uniforms for the army, many of the elders screw against the king, Negas. They said, nah, what are you doing here? Even before he was crowned emperor. When he began the modernization of Ethiopia, when he brought in tanks, the first tanks, I think they had 2 tanks and they brought in at least 2 planes, something of the sort, or 1 tank and 2 planes. There were elders, those who were rolling with Menelik II and Rasmussen, that told the emperor, brother, you're a little child, man. What you doing? The emperor brought in the uniform. As if you read the autobiography of the king, he himself tell you that he brought in the uniform of the style, if I'm not mistaken, of the German army. But it's some European army though. The uniform that you see the Ethiopian soldiers wore, that ain't no African design, not unless it's 360 in itself from an ancient time, because you know everything that the Europeans really had in some form or fashion, it was kind of stolen from us, you know, down to religion, eh? So you gotta also be careful. But the point is, as far as we know, them soldier hats and soldier caps and all of these different things, we were fighting barefoot. When they talk about foot soldiers, that's us. We were not boots on the ground. Them is boots on the ground. We were the foot soldiers. When the king brought in boots, people were screwing. The elders were screwing. You mean to tell me you're taking me out of my lion mane and my barefoot lion feet to go and put on them rubber boots? And they were speaking on a scientific level too. Them rubber boots. We just did a program the other evening on grounding. We haven't put that up on the YouTubers yet, but eventually. The benefits of not wearing shoes. We did that already. And let me say here, man, let me say here, if you have not subscribed to the Mystic Vibration program, I mean, that's why, you know, I mean, come on, if you're really interested in the information, you should be a subscriber. You should be a subscriber. So all the programs, when I'm referring to programs, I shouldn't even have to say, if you haven't seen it yet, we will put it on YouTube. Of course, it will reach on YouTube, but I shouldn't be saying that to you. You should have all the programs inside of your cloud or your archives or your library, man. So you should subscribe to the Mystic Vibration program. You get each and every program. You get the shock of the hour straight into your inbox each and every day. So when this program is done tonight, it's going straight into the inbox of all those who have subscribed. Your monthly subscription is only 50 United States currency per month. And you can see for yourself the level of information and the quantity of information. We spend at least an hour a night, and I know we're going over the hour tonight, on the shock of the hour. So I mean, come on. So at least that even, you know, at least I know you have the information. But I'm telling you, you need to subscribe. You know what to do. Contact us, email me and say, Honorable Priest, I would like to subscribe for the Mystic Vibration, for the shock of the hour. So as I was saying, when we did the program about the benefits of not wearing shoes, we were talking about that same science of connecting with the earth. So I'm trying to show you these ancient warriors, a lot of them even conspired against Haile Selassie even when he was still Rastafari. And it is that same tank, you know, the same tank that they didn't like, that that assisted the emperor in busting down the walls and bringing them to the knees. Yeah, give thanks and praises. But what I'm saying is that if we're dealing with this God figure, not just Messianic figure now, but this realm, this being from the realms of eternity. That's how we're looking at Haile Selassie. This being from the realms of eternity, man. This supersonic vibration here. Jehovah. You know, the living eye, the power and might of the Holy Trinity. Hear them kind of names there. And yet he bringing uniforms from Europe for us. Uniform from Europe. I tell you, it's Haile Selassie that brought in the Boy Scouts. The Boy Scouts. Now, if you're a Ras, you can't deny this. That Rasta deny enough of this thing. And he named, I think, there's something about his son as it relates to the Boy Scout. I don't know if his son became the Chief Scout or whatever it was. It's not coming to me right now. You know? When Haile Selassie was crowned King of Kings, as I said before, when you see the emperor with his crown and all of them regalia there, that was the day he was crowned. That was the day he was crowned, and I think he took some photo afterwards in the palace, and that was it. I don't know if the emperor ever put on them crown ever again, or that all of that heavy clothes ever again. Ever again. Even when it comes down to the anniversary of his coronation, the emperor there in his army suit. Army suit, you know. Army suit. Or his three-piece suit, what we like to call jacket and tie. Jacket and tie. Jacket and tie. The tie, them is Freemasonic clothes. The necktie is Freemasonic clothes. Straight up. That's the hangman noose around your neck. Good. What's wrong? Some rats can't take it. I mean, have some rats that say, oh, what's wrong with tie? Because they see the emperor wear tie, so they fear. And they use the bun tie, you know, but after they start, you know, the emperor wear tie. What's wrong with tie? Don't have to be dread to be Rasta, because the emperor never have no locks. All kind of conversation come up now. The Lord shall shave. This means that leaving from the heavenly zone, leaving from that sacred spot, and that's what it is, you know. There's a seat vacant in Zion, you know. That's what the Christ thing is all about. That the spirit of this being left a specific zone to capsulate him or herself in a figure, in a human being, and present themselves to the world. That's what it is. That's what it is. To present themselves to the world. And that spirit has a specific culture. And I'm telling you, the emperor keep up the culture. But in fulfillment of the prophecy that has already been written, the Lord shall shave. With the razor that came from the store down the road. No. I want this razor to come from Assyria, the city of idols, the city of corruption. Assyria, our enemy as such. So we bring in teachers from all over the world. Some man bonfire, although Menelik already bringing a car, but what? We bringing in jet plane and all of that. Just like how they say Bunny Whaler was born in the Iron Bird, is the same way the elders were acting. So even as a Ras now, I don't know where you're hanging, but I'm telling you where I am. I did a documentary entitled 7. And 7, and for your information, again, 7 is also available. Do you know you could receive 7 and the Master of Ceremonies, both these documentaries, 7 and the Master of Ceremonies. You could receive them, pardon me, digitally via the email. So you could receive those in your inbox as well. That is the documentary 7, which goes into the divinity of the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, and the Master of Ceremonies. It goes into the divinity of Emperor Haile Selassie I. Again, both of these documentaries are available for your order. And as I said, you don't even have to wait for no mail. You can get them right in your email. You get it? Good. Now in 7, listen to me please. In the documentary 7, I prove without a shadow of a doubt that the concept of the Trinity is universal. I prove that. We began with Lord Packle's Mass. Lord Packle's Mass is similar to the face and Olmec, on the face and Mass of the Olmec, which was highlighted even by Dr. Malachi York. Lord Packle's Mass is made from many different pieces of jade stones put together. And Lord Pakal's mask, within the mask, when you take a mirror copy of this ancient mask, a mirror copy, a transparent mirror copy of the mask, and take the original copy of a photo of the mask, and you put it together at specific pivot points, dots that are located on the mask, you get the image of a bat, you get the image of a man with some wings kneeling down, you get the image of the snake with wings as well, which is the feathered snake, which is the symbol of such a time, the Quetzalcoatl, the feathered snake, the flying serpent. And you also get the image, you get two specific images. One image of 3B, the young boy king, which is Tutankhamun with the feathered hat. You get the image of the person that owns the mask, which is Lord Pakal. And in front of his face, you see the squatting Buddha, the Gautama Buddha specifically. And as we explained in the documentary 7, all of these three individuals have a specific link with Maya, as Lord Pakal was the king of the Mayans, as Tutankhamun's wet nurse name was Maya, and the person that built his illustrious burial chamber, his name was Maya, and of course Buddha's, his mother's name was Maya, and the three of them can be seen in this mystic esoteric outprint that you see in the mask of Lord Pakal, and you have to give that mask credit, and the builders of the mask high credit. Why? Because it's not as if they just drew the pictures of Lord Pakal and Tutankhamun and the Buddha. No, they encoded it in a mask, and the only way you could see it is not by using the mask, but by taking a picture of the mask and then getting a transparent mirror copy of that picture. That's the only way it works. And then aligning the pivot dots that were under the eyes and above the eyes and on the cheek, and then you get all these different figures. So when you align the specific dots now, you get the image, as I said again, of Lord Pakal and Tutankhamun and the Buddha. And although you may be listening to this on the radio, if it sounds a bit confusing to follow all of this, I could definitely comprehend. But as I said, we have done this and taken the time to explain and express it with graphic detail on the documentary 7. And although we have the documentary 7 for purchase, we have even still placed it on our YouTube channel. People don't do them kind of things. When they're selling something, they don't just show it for free. And people have already told me many times, brother, take 7 down. Brother, take the master of ceremonies down. Why? Because once they're up, people are not going to buy them. Well, people do buy them. But more people would buy them if they were not there. I totally agree. You know? But that's up to them. That's why we teach certain lessons. That's up to them. They should know better than that. That's up to them. Sometimes you got to do these things. And many people have been inspired by 7, and many people have been inspired by the Master of 7. This is all right. We're working on the Night of the Black Tiger as I speak to you. That's the divinity of Marcus Garvey. That let me just get a little more into the, ebonics. That better than 7. What? The Night of the Black Tiger. Wait till you see that. But we won't be putting that on the YouTube. That's for sure. Don't worry. We definitely won't be putting that on the YouTube. But I mean, I would never take down 7. I would never, and I'm not taking down the master. But they're still there for those of you who have a genuine heart. And most of us don't seem to. And that's straight up. If you have a genuine heart, you would still purchase 7. After the program, you contact me and say, I'd like to purchase 7. Come on. Let's be real, man. I'd like to purchase the master. I watched them already, but I need them. You know what I mean? And then I send it to you through the email or whichever way you think you prefer it. That's how it goes. That's reality. And even as I said in another documentary, even if you have a bootleg copy or you think you can download it from YouTube, all them things, that's not the moral of the story. The moral of the story is that we are fighting a war. That's the moral of the story. We're fighting a war. Some of you clearly tell me and call me and say, King, be careful, you know. I see you do a video on Queen Elizabeth. You gotta be careful. The fact that you can say all of that supposed to show you that, okay, yeah, man, give thanks to the brother. And not just me, you know, man. You know, it's not a me thing, but in general. I know there are a lot of people doing things but just wasting time and just playing around, but there are people that are genuine in what they're doing, and we know if you want to say taking a risk. But yeah, you don't know how you're gonna, man. Though we walk to the valley of the shadow of death, no evil is feared here. Yeah, Selassie is with me. Manuel and Marcus, they comfort me. Yeah. But at the same time, that don't take away from the reality. This is a danger zone. Even if you're not talking about Elizabeth, you're talking about Selassie, that alone is problem. Marcus Garvey, and these kind of subjects and enlightening. So purchase the 7, man. Come on, let's wake up and join the battle. Not because you're listening, you're not, to me, if you're listening, that's very good, you know. But if you don't put your hand in, you haven't joined the battle yet. That's the vibration there. This is a serious thing, man. I've seen too many of our own get taken out through history. I was speaking to a brethren of mine. I was speaking to a brethren of mine the other night, and he almost bring tears to his eyes. He said he was watching a documentary about Patrice Lumumba. I mean, well, we have covered that many times, but he just see it now. And he said, boy, he see the 2 man, Larry Devlin and the other killers, them live on the documentary telling you how they killed Patrice Lumumba. He said he don't understand how people like that can still be alive, although I think Devlin has died. But I mean, wow. For real, he correct. You think any black people could be on any documentary saying they take out this European leader and just be talking and skinning teeth? This is a serious war zone, eh? That's what I say. I think we're going to spend some time on this here tonight. I want to get this out. So in the mask of Lord Pakal now, when you turn those 3 figures around, you don't detach the mask. That's the science of it. You do not detach the mask. You just turn the figure around. As I said, you're listening to this on the radio, so you may not see it. And even if I put it on the YouTube, I may not put all that picture there. You see, that's it now. I could go and try to do over 7 now and try to put all the pictures, but it's done already. The least you could do is go and watch 7. It's already there for you. That's the least you could do, at least. You know. Yeah, I mean, just interesting. We have some strict mystic people. Eh? But when you turn the figure around, what do you get? You get the image of the Olmec that we all know. This is 7. This is the mask of Lord Pakal. This is the jade mask. This is the face, the image that you get in the face of the jade mask. You get the image of the Olmec. You get the image of the man with the beard and no locks, and then you get the image of the man with the locks. You get these 3 specific individuals: an Olmec looking person, a man with locks, and an ancient man with beard and no locks. And an ancient man with beard and no locks. Buried with Lord Pakal is the same 3 figures: an ancient jade man with beard and no locks, and the other 2 individuals, an Olmec figure and a man with locks known as the man with the high hairstyle. You still get that 3 figure. On the footstool of Tutankhamun, the procession of the 9 lords, you get 3 types of individuals again: the Olmec man, the man with the beard and the locks, and the ancient man with the beard and no locks. I mean, if we believe in all of this ancient science, how we can't run from this? And what that shows you now, as I've shown in 7, you can make the connection and it leads you directly to Haile Selassie, Prince Emmanuel, and Marcus Messiah Garvey. In fact, we have shown the link with the chain that was found around the neck of Lord Pakal. and the chain that was found around the neck of Tutankhamun. And we showed about the 114 beads that were in the chain of Lord Pakal, and Lord Pakal is the Olmec. Lord Pakal is the Marcus figure, and the 110 beads in the sixth row of the chain of Tutankhamun, and Tutankhamun represents Haile Selassie the first. And of course, we showed that in the year 2002, Marcus Messiah Garvey was 114. That is the beads in the chain of Lord Pakal. And in the same 2002, Tutankhamun chain 110, Haile Selassie was 110 years of age. All of this is in 2002. Whether you believe they're alive or not, I ain't talking about that, and I'm talking of the age span. So Marcus, 114. Haile Selassie, 110. When? In 2002. At the same time. That done happen, it never happen again. In 2002, the both ages linked together in relation to the chain that Lord Pakal was found with, 114, in relation to the necklace that Tutankhamun was found with, 110. And that year was the 72nd, which is another sacred number, the 72nd anniversary of what? The coronation of the same Haile Selassie I. Don't lose the point, Tutankhamun's face was seen in the mask of Lord Pakal. The Buddha's face was seen in the mask of Lord Pakal. That's why I showed you all of them share Maya, Tutankhamun's wet nurse, Maya, build his burial chamber, Maya, Buddha's mother, Maya, Lord Pakal, the king of the Mayans. That's the point. They all link already. And when you turn the mask around, the same three that link return in three different forms. Lord Pakal returned as another Olmec. A clear looking Olmec, look just like Marcus Garvey. The man, the Buddha returned as the man with the locks and the beard. The locks and the beard, that is very symbolic. The man with the locks and the beard. And then the star now, the man in the head of the Olmec, is the man with the beard and no locks. And he looked just like Haile Selassie I. The man that in front of the footstool of Tutankhamun with the locks and no beard looks just like Haile Selassie I. Even down to the complexion of these three figures, brother, and Tutankhamun's footstool is the same complexion of Marcus Garvey, extremely black, Prince Emmanuel, and Haile Selassie I. And those of you who have seen 7 know exactly what I'm talking about. You need to check 7. That's the point I'm making. So, what I'm saying here now, the reason why I can go deeper, but I'm not trying to prove it to you. It's not trying to prove it to you, I'm just trying to show you now that that's how we see it. Well, I'm talking about myself. Maybe I should say me. So now, although you see the 3 types of figures on the procession of the 9 lords, because I think the reason why they're on his footstool, Tutankhamun, is because the earth is his footstool. Now, the 9 lords are seen in the burial chambers of different kings. And the 9 lords are seen kneeling down, and they all have locks and beard. All of them, all 9 of them. All 9 lords have locks and beard. Now, what that shows me is the scripture we just read. That in a heavenly sense, all of them portray the locks and beard. The portrayal of the locks and beard is seen by one of the 3. But that one of the 3 that has the locks and beard, he represents the priest of the 3. He is the one that teaches the priesthood order to the flock. Remember, Isaiah already say in verse 20 that the Lord shall shave you with a razor. Not just shaving the hair and the beard, but where is this razor coming from? So this is why Prince Emmanuel now is a specific order that he come with. Marcus Garvey, both Marcus Garvey and Haile Selassie wear the hat with the feathers. Both Marcus Garvey and Haile Selassie would carry their swords on their sides. Both Haile Selassie, Marcus Garvey, they wear necktie and the full thing. But it's all right. You can talk as much as you want. But there is a priest in the midst of this tree here that holding everything together. Listen, man, we gone to the stars in a man. 7, check the documentary 7. Look in the heavens now. The serpent holder. The serpent holder, the man is the man with the locks and the beard. And the serpent holder stands on the scorpion. And the serpent holder holds the serpent in his hand. For who? For the man in the north, Hercules, that has the sword. For the man in the south, the archer that has the bow and arrow. Both the archer and the Hercules represent Haile Selassie and Marcus Garvey, respectively. Or respectively. Respectively. Yeah. Give me a break. And the serpent holder represents Prince Emmanuel Charles Edwards. He has on a robe and a turban. I mean, we have to run from it. And he doesn't have no weapons in his hand. And what is seen in the heavens is well aligned with what is seen in Lord Packer's Mass or on Lord Packer's Mass. Huh? The Olmec man, the man with beard and no locks, and the man with beard and locks. Tutankhamun's footstool, the same thing. The Olmec man, the man with beard and locks, and the man with no beard and no locks, with beard and no locks, pardon me, which is seen as an ancient man as well. And then we can go into the Buddha, but that's almost a next level. You know, Nagarjuna and Shanti Deva. I mean, wow, that to me that one day. You see that part of 7? I love my documentary 7 now. But you see that part where we go into the Buddha. Boy, you should have already. When you reach that part and you don't throw in the towel, you're just stiff-necked. I had to say that. If you don't throw in the towel, you see that documentary 7? You see that? Take it easy, please. Hold on, leave them on. You don't know. But anyway, yeah. So in 7, in the part that speaks about the Buddha, when he speaks about Nagarjuna, the Maitreya Buddha shall return. Oh, come on, and it clearly tell you when he coming back to. In the tripod, the first year, in the tripod decade of that century. And we bring that down to 1931 and the issuing of the Constitution. Nagarjuna, Negus Negas. And the story of Nagarjuna, go and read it. Nagarjuna made Shanti Deva his priest. And Shanti Deva built the Angkor Wat and the Angkor Thom, the Bayon, Maruk Bul, the city of Maruk Bul, Bayon, Shanti Deva, you know. Shanti Deva. I mean, this is crystal clear. The priests. Yeah, man. The city of silver upon the hill. Crowned the priest by Nega himself, Negus Negas. Yeah, man. So all I'm saying is this is what I'm saying, is that the priest now, within this triune, is the one that expresses the order by which man is to live by. So it ain't too much, you know, Masonic nothing here, no Windsor Castle here, no, what you call it? Do you know the chariot? Hear this part. The chariot that the emperor was riding in when he got crowned, or the carriage, that for sure came from Germany now. That was the chariot used in by one of the, I think is Wilhelm II or one of these Kaisers from Germany. The chariot and other little different things. So I mean, but it's a science, it's the fulfillment of a prophecy. That's all I'm telling you. So when you see Haile Selassie again, you know, like it or not, he gonna look like Prince Emmanuel. For sure, you're gonna have the locks and the beard. And he's gonna wait, hold on, Rasma, wait. What you trying to tell me? You expect to see Selassie again, but wait, hold on. That's what you stopped me for. Well, for one, he's just 125 to have people around older than that. Hey, you believe, but hold on, man, listen. I'm gonna bring this to an end now. What you need to do, you need to go and watch our video on our YouTube channel entitled, Is Haile Selassie Still Alive? or really still alive, something like that. Watch that. I can't go into that now. Watch that. As I said, we wanted to also answer the other question about, identifying the Trinity. Well, I think we just did, but identifying it in the Bible. What I'm going to do, I'm going to leave that for another time. Yeah, we will kill that dog the next time. Straight up. Who's upset is a business that. Because when I said bird, nobody feel no way. Yeah. So, man said that even all these things, give thanks, give thanks, give thanks. So, I'm just saying now in reality, as Bobo Shanti, we see that the high priest is the one that came with the churchical order. And as I said, we can establish that even when you look at the whole aspect of the ancient Trinity. Mm-hmm. You know something? You know something? You know something? I'm thinking if I should just go into that now, or I should really. No, man, let me leave that for another time, man. Chap, let me leave that for another time. Yeah, let me leave that for another time. Next time we'll go into the Trinity. I was thinking of just doing it now and going to it one time, and I know many people say, yeah, man, go into it, go into it. Same thing I just say, subscribe, subscribe. Yeah, subscribe, man, subscribe. Yeah, and then I'm not giving the stats to the world, but that is just to show you. If we were all a part of this team together, I would have just make the sacrifice, because for me to do a next hour is a sacrifice. I mean, I got other things I would like to take care of. You don't know how it is, got a family and other thing. And I could make a sacrifice now and say, let me spend the next hour and go into this for the audience. Which, I mean, okay, don't get me wrong, we have a nice audience here and everything. And you don't have to go nowhere after the program is done. You could stay right here on Radio Anu. It's not as if I'm locking off. I'm going to keep Radio Anu going. I have a lot of good information and inspiration that is coming here. In fact, that's another thing. After this program tonight, I'm going to put on the program why do some Rastas burn reggae? Some of you haven't heard that yet and you've been asking me about that. I'm going to replay that, rebroadcast that right now. Why do some Rastas burn reggae? Oh yeah. And I haven't put that on the YouTube as yet, but I will. I want to put it together properly because the subtitles for that is sacred geometry in music, So for those who didn't hear that program, that is coming on right now. So it's not as if we gone, We have a whole radio station we've put together that any time, any hour of the day, you could come right here and get information and inspiration. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say we gotta work as a team. And I'm not afraid to tell nobody that. We gotta work as a team. And those who used to do the work, I know it is your duty, not that you should, it's your duty to do what you can to patronize and to support straight off the bat. And even down to a simple thing like subscribing to the Mystic Vibration, man, is the duty of all of you. Straight up, it's the duty of all of you. And if I knew that I had that kind of support, man, I would have gone next hour right now. But it ain't there. So let me deal with, let's just put it this way, who really appreciate and support it. But anyway, give thanks, man. Love you. I feel no way. I love you. If you know your Bible and you do not know your history, the knowledge of your Bible become a mystery. And it takes some realize to realize the real lies that are amongst us in this time. Mystic Vibration, Radio Anu. Don't go nowhere.